Native Americans during colonization, Women in American History. This is a PowerPoint designed to educate you on the importance of the Native American people and how their culture was changed due to the colonization period in America. I will also focus on the Native American women and how their roles were important in their society at the time in comparison to the Euro-American women who traveled to the New World. Early beginnings. The Native American people inhabited North America for many years. This map depicts the tribes of the Native American people and how far they were distributed throughout the United States. Variations among the culture of the people were seen, most likely due to separation and environmental factors. Each tribe had its own set of cultural standards and social activities. Their culture was based on communal participation and the overall well-being of the tribe and its inhabitants. Kent Emerson, Map of the United States, Native American Tribes. Together, they hunted, gathered, and traded with each other. They created communities called tribes and had their own special cultures. Focuses of the Native Culture. This photo is titled Holy Man of the Blackfoot, painted by Howard Turpning. It is a great depiction of how the Native Americans were very connected to their spirituality, which they felt guided them throughout their journey of life. The man is seen in individual meditation that is focused on the divine spirit which Native American people idolized. Spirituality also created an environment for close community ties and the appreciation and respect of other members of the tribe. Unlike European women, Native American women were free to meditate and pray as they pleased within the public realm. Photo credit to laser beams. What was life like for the women? This quote was spoken by Reverend John Megnall Pennis in the year 1644 in regards to the Native American women. These women were very strong figures in their community, and they had many duties to fulfill for their families and the tribe as a whole. There was controversy by the colonists on whether or not they viewed the woman as a servant or inferior to the men of their tribes. This notion may have stemmed from the Victorian-style ways of the colonists who traveled to America. On the contrary, women were expected to perform these tasks, but there was less emphasis on gender roles like the colonists. A Native American woman could perform heavy lifting and aid in tasks that would be conceived as a man's only task. This photograph depicts a woman from a Native American tribe attending to her family while they were presumably weaving baskets. Photo credit Native American crafts and their history. Women's contributions. Women were responsible for up to 75% of all food production and the gathering of wild fruits, nuts, berries, and shellfish. Maggie McLean. Since the Wampanoag primarily relied on goods from this kind of work, women had an appreciably greater economic and spiritual role in their respective communities than their European counterparts. Native American women were an influential part of the health of the tribe, as they were the main contributor to the food source. Passed down from generation to generation were the skills of agriculture and how to provide nourishment to the people, which was a very important task. Unlike the Victorian women who were expected to serve to their husbands and families obediently, the Native American woman was a figure of health and importance due to their skill sets and knowledge of the land. These women were very resourceful. Using resources. Native American women were also responsible for making the clothing for their family, which they made from the skins of deer and rabbit. These women were resourceful and used the carcasses brought to them to make clothing, food, and tools. Alongside gathering nourishment for the tribe, women were responsible for creating tools and clothing. In the Native American society, there was a great emphasis on community and the communal gain of the tribe. Women communicated with each other freely, unlike the Victorian woman who had an emphasis within the home. In the European culture, the woman would be isolated in the home and discouraged from having any sort of opinions or role in the public. Native American women, however, embraced the importance of their community gladly. Women's political power. Because women's activities were central to the community's welfare, they also held important political, social, and economic power. Ellen Pearson Holmes. Unlike the Victorian woman who had no say in political matters because that was the men's role, Native American women were welcomed in the public and could even hold positions of power. Maggie McLean speaks of examples of women on Martha's Vineyard in Nantucket who were sachems, or chiefs, in their community. She states, "These women gained power because their matrilineal clans controlled large plots of land, and because they had acquired status and power, not because they were the widows of former sachems." Maggie McLean. This political independence was unheard of and taboo to the colonists, especially the native sachems' women's ability to own and manage property, as seen in the photograph above by Aidan L. Ripley. A woman's highest calling is to lead a man to his soul, so as to unite him with the source. Her lowest calling is to seduce, separating man from his soul and leave him aimlessly wandering. A man's highest calling is to protect woman, so she is free to walk the earth unharmed. Man's lowest calling is to ambush and force his way into the life of a woman. Native American Cherokee Proverb. This photograph, taken from the Native American Encyclopedia, is a Native American Cherokee proverb which denotes the general attitude towards the relations between male and female members of the tribe. The relationships are based on mutual respect, and a large part of that would be due to their spirituality. Native Americans were advocates for the just treatment of mankind as a whole, and this counteracts the relationships between European men and women. During the colonization era, women were seen as the inferior gender and were placed in the home to be domestic housewives. They had to obey everything that their husbands told them to, and they did not have the right to their own belongings or thoughts. Adapting to change. Colonizing of America posed many threats to the culture of the Native Americans. They operated differently than the Europeans, who slowly drove the natives away from their homeland. Started with trading, but then the effects of colonization were destroying the lives of the natives. Women were seen by colonists as the inferior gender due to their culture, so this posed many threats to the Native American women, who were seen as powerless due to their race and gender. They were subject to violence and abuse, such as rape, when colonists arrived. The colonists even went to extremes by exterminating the natives by murdering them and introducing European diseases to North America. What once was a coexistence based on trade turned into a horrible outcome for the Native American people. The remaining natives were left to pick up the pieces of their broken tribes and to try to communicate and continue with their culture as it was being slowly destroyed. God's providence made room for us in a wonderful manner, in taking away the Indians. There came a distemper among them so mortal that they could not bury all of their dead. Others went away, leaving their town. Quote by Mary Swift. As stated on the previous slide, introduction of European diseases wreaked havoc on the Native American people. Some of these diseases were deliberately introduced by the colonists to eradicate the natives. In the picture above from the National Library of Medicine, a Native American man is seen praying to the divine spirit to cure a woman, most likely suffering from smallpox. This quote by Mary Smith, a Quaker colonist woman, was unfortunately a very popular viewpoint during that time. Most of the colonists aimed for the eradication of the natives so that they could have full reign of North America. What about Native Americans today? There are reservations in America set to preserve the land and culture of the exterminated race. Many of these reservations can even be on Massachusetts. The above photo is a picture of part of the reservation on Martha's Vineyard Island, Massachusetts, and it is a great example of the protective Native American land seen in America. It is important that we respect and appreciate the land because it is the site where the indigenous people lost their culture and most of their lives. Conclusion. Women played a very important role in the life of the Native American. They were more than just mothers of the tribe's children. They were builders, warriors, farmers, and craftswomen. Their strength was essential to the survival of the tribes. As a conclusion, studying the Native American people and the roles of their women is a very important aspect of American history. They had established cultures where the woman was an integral part of the community and an asset to their families, as well as themselves. The colonization of America was a prosperous time for the Europeans, but we must not forget the well-established culture of the Native American people. Many people were killed and lost their lives due to the evacuation of their lands, and their memory must not be forgotten. These Native American women flourished in a time of oppression towards their sex, seen by examples of the European colonist women who lived a completely altered fate. They had to fight endlessly to come to a level of respect the natives have already established, and many notes can be taken from the natives' sense of togetherness. Here's a list of my works cited. Pictures are in order of appearance. Here's my list of sources used. The end, and thank you for listening to this presentation.